Hi, I'm Pam Fox and welcome to my channel. Today I'd like to clarify what is a high carb, low fat vegan diet. For some reason, when I tell people that that's the diet that I'm on, there's some concern. For example, I've had two women tell me that they were once on a low fat diet and their hair fell out. So they're concerned that I'm not getting enough fat. So when you're on a plant-based diet, you're eliminating animal foods, which means you reduce your fat intake. You're eliminating junk foods, reducing your fat intake, which just leaves plant foods. Now, there is naturally occurring fat in all plants, but it's naturally occurring fat and it's a much lower level of fat than, say, the fat you would have in a glass of milk. So it is considered a low-fat diet. Also, I don't add oils to my food, so no canola oil, no safflower oil, no olive oil, no coconut oil. I use coconut oil as a moisturizer. But I'm not adding those oils into my foods. I steam, I saute in vegetable broth, I bake, but I don't saute or cook in oil. Very rarely. When I eat out, it's hard to avoid, but still I ask for as little oil as possible when I select items from the menu. So yeah, it's definitely low fat, but it's not no fat. High carb. Oh, before I get to high carb, I want to address the protein, because that's another question I get asked a lot is, what about, where do you get your protein? And I've said this before. My answer has become that I get protein from my food. So protein also naturally exists in all plants. It exists at a low amount. It's not as high as meat, but it exists in all plants. And the body quickly knows exactly how to process the protein in plants. Now, our government suggests that we consume about 30% of our daily calories from protein. However, the World Health Organization says it's only 5%. And what they did years ago was to determine how much protein the human body needs. They actually figured it only needs about 2.4%, I think, and they went ahead and doubled that just to be safe. So we really don't need as much protein as our government and our schools and our doctors and our families say we do, or as much as we've believed that we need our whole life. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can do the research for yourself. And not only that, not only do we not need as much protein as we've been told, there are many, many studies that not suggest, but prove that a diet high in protein, a diet high in fat, leads to disease. So our number one killer, heart disease. Why do people get heart disease? It's because of the food they eat. I mean, there are other contributors. Smoking is a high risk factor for heart disease, but so is high blood pressure and high cholesterol, and we get that from saturated fats. So we can prevent heart disease, and we can even reverse heart disease on a plant-based diet. On a plant-based diet, there's no controversy there. It's been proven time and time again. Okay, so the high carb portion, the high carb, low fat, that's another thing. People assume when I say I'm high carb that I eat bagels and bread all day, which is not the case at all. I'm very careful actually about the type of bread that I do eat, and I don't eat bread that often. But it is high carb because I'm consuming only plants, and plants are carbohydrates. So unfortunately, the word carb has become demonized with the popularity of Atkins diet, paleo diet, and the like. And so people are afraid of carbs. I can't tell you how many people, when I tell them I'm on a high carb diet, they're just, oh. They're really excited at first when I tell them about the healing and the weight loss and the energy. And then I was telling someone about the starch solution, and he's, oh, is that a low starch diet? I said, no, to the contrary, it's a high starch diet. Oh, it was a scary thing. So it's not scary. Carbs are not scary. In fact, our body is comprised of trillions of cells, and those trillions of cells require glucose. And glucose in its most readily available form comes from plants. That's what the body knows exactly what to do with, and is able to metabolize and process and utilize that fuel very effectively and without storing it all away as fat. So yes, high carb, low fat. And what do I eat? Well, when I began this lifestyle almost a year ago, I started with raw till 4 and I stayed with raw till 4. I still really do raw till 4, probably the majority of the time I do raw till 4. There are days when I do, so raw till 4 would be raw, and then cooked. There are days I do raw, cooked, raw. There are days when I do all raw. There are days when I do raw, cooked, raw. So I did start mixing it up a few months ago. I just started kind of experimenting, because in the raw till 4 world, food combining is a serious thing. And so they recommend, different ways to combine your food, and never to eat fruit after a cooked meal, because they digest at different rates. And so if you've got food that's still digesting in the digestive tract, and then you put food on top of it and it digests really quick and catches up, then you can get some discomfort and some bloating. Well, when I finally was brave enough to try this, I had no problem with it. So which is why in my next video I'm going to talk about fruit after 4, which is a new diet that was introduced just this month, earlier this month, in June, and I'm really excited about that diet. So I'm going to talk all about, just going to kind of do a review. I've only been kind of doing it part-time for this past month, but I'm really excited about it, and I've had some good results. So I'm going to talk about that in my next video. But what do I eat in a day? I almost always eat fruit for breakfast. The only exception would be maybe at a restaurant, I might order dry hash browns, order 2 or 3 orders of those, and have a side of dry whole wheat toast. Occasionally I have oatmeal, very rarely. Probably 95% of this past year I've had fruit for breakfast. It's a great way to start your day, lots of energy. And then when I'm doing raw till 4, I'll do the same. I'll have fruit for lunch. And then a cooked vegan dinner. Dinners might include rice and vegetables, rice and curried vegetables, rice and beans. Mexican is my favorite. It always has been on this diet. I'll do rice, and then my favorite thing to do, today I had rice. My husband Dwayne made some rice, and he put some chilies in it when he made it, and then I just added fresh chopped tomatoes and some pico de gallo. And that was it, and it was delicious. 4 cups of rice, cooked rice. When said and done, it was really good. But my favorite way to eat Mexican, I like burritos. I get those a lot when I eat out. No cheese, of course, no sour cream, but they're delicious. My favorite way to eat at home Mexican, I cook the rice, and I cut up avocado. Make sure you get a good ripe avocado. If they're not good and ripe, they're not even edible. Some Roma tomatoes, some cilantro, some jalapenos. I don't like onions, so I don't put onions in it. Some corn. I keep organic corn in my freezer, and I just take it out and blanch it and put it in whatever I'm cooking or making. What else? Some beans, my favorite beans, whether it's black beans or pinto beans, whatever I have on hand. Stir that all up, put it on top of rice and a bed of salad, and that's one of my all-time favorite things. Sometimes I'll put in a little chopped black olive. That's one of my favorites. Sometimes I'll even make my own tortilla chips, just bake some tortilla shell or corn tortillas and crumble them up. Or we even buy organic tortilla chips periodically and put those on there as well. So that's really good. What else? Pizza. I love pizza. I ate a lot of pizza when I first started. Just no meat, no cheese. Have them put, all the vegetables on it that you want. We make pizza at home, make our own dough, make sure it's, got everything we want in it. Low sodium sauce and vegetables. And I can eat a whole large pizza by myself. So I don't do that every night. I might do that. When I'm eating out, I might order a pizza, and we might eat pizza 2 or 3 times a month. What else? Pasta. I really like the corn pasta. I can tolerate regular pasta, so sometimes we do regular pasta or whole wheat pasta. There's quinoa pasta, there's rice pasta. Oh, we really like the wide rice noodles that you can get, and make those up with some some curried vegetables. That's really delicious. But it's really easy. You can go on YouTube and find all kinds of vegans sharing their recipes on YouTube, or you can buy cookbooks. They exist. I bought a bunch of vegan cookbooks when I first got started, and I don't even use them. I mostly get my ideas and my recipes off of YouTube from other fellow vegans. So that's an idea of what I eat. With the fruit, I try to eat what's in season. So last December, I ate a lot of oranges. Right now, mangoes are really, really good, and that's one of my favorite fruits. So eat a lot of those when I can. Bananas, of course, are a staple in my diet. I add in things like, blueberries. Our blueberries are coming on right now. I have a dozen blueberry plants in my yard, so those will be coming up soon. But the rest of the time of the year, you can buy frozen blueberries at Costco and throw a cup of those into your blender when you blend your smoothies. I typically blend my breakfast just because I found when I first started Raw Till 4, I had a really difficult time getting in all that fruit as a meal. But by blending, I could sip that, 1,000 calories of fruit over the period of a couple hours and get that breakfast in. So I blend. Is it ideal? No, not really. If you can eat your fruits in their raw whole form, that's ideal. But blending is, I guess, the next best thing. So that's what I do just because it fits into my lifestyle. So I think that's enough of that. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe. Please share it with others if you think it will be beneficial. And I've got several videos that have been uploaded on my new channel. I'm going to continue to do so. I've got a whole list of things I want to talk about. Just sharing just the thrill of what this diet has done for me and how I hope it can potentially help others. Remember, veganism is wonderful, guys. It's wonderful on so many levels. There's this great, trifecta of wonder when it comes to veganism. The human body, you're helping, heal the human body. You're protecting this planet. Don't forget that conventional livestock farms are the #1 cause of greenhouse gases. It's not trains, planes, and automobiles. You can combine all the emissions from those things together, and it's still not going to touch what conventional livestock farming is doing to our planet. And then, of course, animals, if you haven't watched Earthlings, I would encourage you to do so and find out the lives that these animals live so that we can have meat on our plate. Needlessly have meat on our plate. We don't need it. And in fact, protein has been proven to cause disease. So a diet high in protein and high in fat have been proven to cause disease. So not only do we torture and slaughter these animals needlessly, we're doing it at the own detriment of our own health. So that is enough of that. Thank you so much for watching.